Hey guys, Jen here in the Northview Model Shop, and we have an update on the F-105 Thunderchief. We are all primed now, and we are ready to start laying down some base coats. Now, we did all of the heavy artillery, the drop tanks, and all the bombs in our Duplicolor Sandable Primer Gray. And we were actually going to do the whole thing in that color. And I was only concerned, though, was bombing that in if I was going to lose a lot of detail into the plane. And then up in through these areas here where it would be really tight, was really concerned about blasting that primer in there and getting pooling and dripping and stuff like that. So with that being said, we moved over to the L-Clad 2 gray primer, and it seemed to go really well. The first, when we always start with small pieces to make sure we get everything tuned in, and we're running through our hardened and steam back evolution, and this seemed to spray decently well. And I didn't really notice it until I started working on the landing gear, which hopefully we can get this in here. You guys can see this is actually really beautifully detailed. And it wasn't until I actually started getting onto the flat of it that I noticed some spitting and some spatting from the airbrush. So I then had to get some paper towel, and I was dabbing and blotting it the whole time, trying to clean it up. So when I got to doing the large portion of the airplane, I ran into a lot of problems. This stick it's adequate, but I was really nervous that the super glue was going to break, like you guys have seen in a previous video, and I was going to lose it. So I was kind of priming, holding back here, on my fingers in there, trying to get it. And when I was all done, the primer looked great, but I had a really, really bad texture over the whole thing. So I went back with some 600 wet sanding, and we wet sanded the whole thing, which actually was kind of maybe a blessing in disguise, because the plane was all one color, this flat gray. And as we went and wet sanded it, we brought out all the raised panel line detailing again. And it actually, I think, is kind of going to work as a pre-shader. So that was kind of cool. It was kind of unexpected there. What was really nice was as you remember, we had a lot of filling and sanding work here. All that blended perfectly. All the seams are blended perfectly for us. Really nice. One other little thing we've got into, like I said before, the landing gear detailed in this kit is really, really nice. I'm really impressed with this. Usually the landing gears in previous Revell kits is pretty lackluster, but these look really nice. One thing we tried was, I don't know if it'll actually show up in the camera, but you see that we flat spotted the tire a little bit so it sit flat, and I doubt it'll come out, but we actually tried heating with a heat gun and adding a little bit of and pushing down on it, try to get a little bit of bulge in the tire. We did this with all three tires. I don't know if it's enough to show up to make it look cool, but it was worth the experiment. One really cool piece is the exhaust nozzle here for the jet, and it looks cool because sitting down, for whatever reason, the very bottom fin here, I don't know what they're called, is angled down. And for whatever reason, that's whatever, I'm not really sure. But I didn't even realize until I was all done that there's actually an indexing point. Whoops, let's get the pencil. There's an indexing point right there. And when you look at that indexing point over on the jet itself, that indexing point shows this is, I believe, to be the bottom. So we're actually half cocked out. So to reinstall, we're going to have to go in here with the Dremel and cut this indexing point out so that we can install our afterburner, or whatever this thing here is, the tailpipe, the exhaust, the power comes out here. We'll have to index it that way. So, oh well, one little oversight. We were just getting really excited. The build was going really quickly for us, and we were really excited. Finally, really excited on this. When it was all said and done, there was only 3 extra pieces in the kit, and 1 was an ejector seat, 2 was a stick, and 3 was a dash, all for the F-105G, which would be the Wild Weasel with the dual cockpit. So these were pieces that must have been designed for the next version of this kit. So every part was used. It's always good when you use every single part, and I feel like we have accomplished. So guys, stay tuned. We're really excited. We're getting ready here to start firing in the primer, and we're going to lay down Tamiya's XF2 on the entire bottom half of the plane, the bottom half of the drop tanks, and the landing gears, and then we'll come back in after and do the actual hubs of the tires. But Then once we're there, then we're going to start laying down our tape lines, and then we're going to go from there. So guys, please stay tuned. We're having a lot of fun with this project. Guys, if you really like what you're seeing here, enjoying the projects here at the Northview Model Shop, please hit that subscribe button right now. Not make sure you never miss a video. Guys, hit the like. We really appreciate when we get the likes. And guys, leave a comment. We love hearing your comments. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right. Thanks a million. Adios.